Everybody, it's Brett. I wanted to do another video for you because I get asked this question a lot and it comes up a lot, and people don't understand what they have to put down when they buy a house. So let's go through it. Hold on here. All right. There's really three sets of funds, and let's go over the first one, down payment. So I'm going to just go through the down payment, the minimum down payment for each of the major programs, so you'll have an idea. So the first two are USDA and VA. VA, of course, you'd have to be eligible through some type of military service. USDA is a great loan program, but both these programs are zero down. And there are some restrictions on USDA as far as geographic and income, which I can go over with you if you want to reach out to us. Conventional has a first-time homebuyer program at 3% down, which is a good program. First-time homebuyer doesn't necessarily mean you can never have owned a home before, but you cannot have owned a home in the last 3 years is what that means. FHA is 3.5% down. And conventional, if you have owned a home in the last 3 years, is a 5% down payment. So those are the down payments, and of course it's 5% of the sales price, 3% of the sales price, and so on. So if the sales price is $100,000, your down payment is, if it's 5%, it's $5,000, and so on. So those are pretty simple and straightforward. The sourcing on the down, that's a whole nother area, but I'll just tell you real quick. It can be your own funds. It can be a gift from an allowed source, which is generally a family member or your employer. There's a list, and if you want to reach out to our office, I can give you the allowed source list. But generally, it's a family member. It can be an uncle or an aunt or your mom or dad, or it can be an employer. They can give you a gift for a down, or you can borrow it from your retirement account. So if you want more details on that, just reach out to our office. The second and the third group of funds are closing costs and then your prepaids, which include taxes, insurance, and interest. So I thought we would just go through a couple of examples really quick just to do the math and see what the total representation is. Okay, so let me get rid of this thing here and bring up this thing. I blacked out the name of the applicant so you can't see it, but these are two recent transactions. This one is conventional, and this one is FHA. I'm just going to go over the fee worksheet because it's a one-page simple, and it kind of details the entire loan. So let's go over the FHA one first, and we'll just go do the math here. So loan amount was just over $400,000. So these fees don't all come to the mortgage company. Some of them go to other folks. So let's just do a quick outline here. So from here down to here, and then from here to here are fees related to the mortgage company. They don't necessarily come to the retail mortgage company, but they go to, they can go to the attorneys drawing the docs, the processor, the wholesale investor, and so on. So I'm going to do the math on this in a little bit. This particular loan is FHA. So this right here, the $6,900 is the upfront MI for FHA. FHA puts this on every loan they do. They don't discriminate. And it's tacked on to the end of the loan. So you don't have to come out of pocket for that $6,900 at closing. They will just put it on the end of the loan, and I'll show you down here what it looks like. You can see here the funding fee that they put on the end of the loan. And that's with FHA. You get that. So these fees here from $450 down to about $200 are estimated title fees. Now this is a purchase fee worksheet, a purchase loan. I can tell you at the time I'm making this video, I live in Texas. And normally the title insurance is a cost that is paid for by the sellers under normal circumstances. So even though I have to quote it out here, normally down here I would give you a title credit, okay, for the sellers paying it. But our current housing market, everyone's moving here, we're still in COVID, so there's a limited inventory. So the sellers, it's a heavy seller's market. So most of the contracts I see lately, the sellers are asking the buyers to pay the title insurance, and usually they have no choice but to pay it because there just aren't that many houses available for sale around here. So these two, in fact, they're paying all of the title policy. But in a normal purchase market, that cost is usually paid for by the sellers. I'm just going to tell you that. Survey, $400, recording, and then here you have your prepaids. Actually, that one, and here you have your prepaids. Okay. So prepaids include insurance. You're going to have to buy a 1 year's policy at closing, so $100 a month becomes $1,200 at closing. You'll have to pre-fund your escrow account with 3 months of taxes, 3 months of insurance. So that's what this is here. So I'm going to put this video on pause momentarily. I'm going to do a little math for you, and then we'll go over it, okay? All right, so I added up the closing costs, which include pretty much everything except for the prepaid and the upfront and mine. They came to $71.13, and keep in mind, this is about as high a number as a percentage as you're going to see unless somebody charges origination, mainly due to some of these costs that aren't normal for a normal market. Like there's an extra $2,400 in here that normally wouldn't be in there, but in this transaction it was in there. So the closing costs represent 1.7% of the loan amount. The prepaids are around $3,500, which represents just under 1% of the loan amount. So let's put it all together in terms of his down payment and out of pocket. Okay, just a second here. Okay, did a little more math. So purchase price is $410, down payment $14,350, closing costs is $71.13, and then prepaids were $35.67. Total is $25,000. So the total, even though the down payment is only 3.5%, the total this guy had to come out of pocket was around 6.1% of the loan, which is still a low number relatively, but it gives you an idea of about what you're looking at in terms of a ballpark for out of pocket. So 5-6%. That's about right. Let's take a look at the conventional. Hold on just a sec. All right, so I'm gonna do the same math here, and we'll just compare it. Okay. All right. So the conventional loan, it was similar. The down payment is higher because it's 5% down payment. So closing costs were $71.85. Prepaid, same situation here. I had to quote this guy title insurance, and there was no corresponding seller contribution for title insurance. So he had to pay it because of the heavy seller's market that we're in. That's not always the case. So these totaled up to be $29,960, and the total percentage is actually 7.7% of the sales price. So that gives you a ballpark, an idea. Again, this is a little heavy on the closing costs because of the market we're in, but still, it's going to be in that range of 5 to 7% overall if you're paying everything without any contributions from seller concessions or realtor concessions or any of that. So just keep that in mind as you look at your house hunting, what you want to buy, and then you'll have an idea. You'll have an idea in terms of price about what you're going to have to come out of pocket. Okay. And if you have any questions, just contact our office. We're happy to help. Thank you. Bye.